Le supi, critique du cinéma, cinéaste, artiste. Les préparez votre macarons pour le feu le commande. Fuck. I'm not supposed to laugh. Dun, 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 dun. The film Breathless is directed by Jean-Luc Godard, one of the most influential filmmakers of all time. He was a big director in the French New Wave, which was a film movement that occurred around the 1950s and 60s. The French New Wave was about tearing down the conventions of mainstream filmmaking. Improvisation heavy, tight budgets, they're shot on the street, they have a very rough feel to them. It totally revolutionized the way films were made. And this film, Breathless, is one of the first and one of the most influential, easily. You can see its influence in so many other kinds of films. The two main characters are Michel, a criminal on the run from the police, and Patricia, an aspiring journalist from America. There are so many great moments in this fucking movie, it's unreal. Here's just a few of my favorite moments in the movie. This dead guy is on the street, and Michel sees him. I just love that. I love when the cop is like...
Complicité de meurtre, tu sais ce que c'est?
I just love his run. I love this line.
Oui, non, les femmes c'est toujours les demi-mesures. Moi ça me détruit le moral.
Pretty much the entire interview with Mr. P in this scene is hysterical.
Peut-elle aimer dans sa vie? Je veux dire physiquement. Pardon, s'il vous plaît.
It's so quotable. John Paul Belmondo and Gene Saberg, who is hot as fuck by the way, have great chemistry.
Je suis fatigué. Je vais mourir.
Tu es fou.
Ouais, je suis complètement dingue.
Qu'est-ce que c'est dingue?
C'est moi.
So we got Patricia, who's kind of normal. She acts like a normal human being, very grounded and fair. But she falls for this guy who's got a few issues and quite a few enemies. But at least he's not boring. At the start of the film, we see he's with a woman and he just kind of leaves her. See, he knew Patricia from before. They had apparently had sex. And then he had sex with two women since. But according to him, they just weren't the same. She stands out for some reason.
Non, c'est drôle. J'ai couché avec deux filles depuis qu'on s'est vus. Eh bien, ça gazait absolument pas.
So he follows her around this fucking city, just begging for sex.
Pourquoi tu veux pas recoucher avec moi?
Qu'est-ce que tu fais?
J'enlève ton chandail?
Pas maintenant, Michel.
Oh, tu es énervante, à quoi ça rime? Pourquoi tu te mets pas toute nue?
À quoi ça sert?
Vous êtes cons, les Américains.
On top of being a womanizer, he's also a dangerous criminal. He steals a car, he's a cop killer. The first 10 minutes of the movie, we see him being chased by the police and he's just, shooting. It's crazy. But he's such an entertaining personality.
Tu connais William Faulkner?
Non? Qui est-ce? Tu as couché avec lui?
Mais non, mon coco.
Alors je me fous de lui.
Of course he's an asshole, but he's a very charismatic, fun to watch asshole. A lot of this movie was just shot on the streets of Paris, and it was heavily improvised. Jean-Luc Godard would even write down lines before scenes started. He would just yell out lines he thought of right there on set while they were filming. You can see people in the movie looking at the camera and them. Everyone's like, what the fuck is going on here? They're basically acting out this little play in public. But everything feels super real and authentic because of that.
Alors, vous avez un peu de feu?
Écoutez, tenez, là 100 sous, et allez vous acheter une boîte d'allumettes.
The fact that the film is improv heavy is what makes this relationship so believable, despite how ridiculous the story is. The film is also known for being groundbreaking in the way it's edited. There's lots of long takes and scenes that are condensed by using jump cuts.
J'aime une fille qui a une très jolie nuque, de très jolis seins, une très jolie voix, de très jolis poignets, un très joli front, de très jolis genoux.
A jump cut is usually seen as a bad thing, but again, it's a tool. Depends how you use it. One of the best uses of jump cuts in this movie, I think, is around here. When Patricia goes on some date with some other random guy. And I think the jump cuts kind of emphasize how boring and mundane he is as compared to Michelle, who is like this James Bond daredevil shooting people and having sex with tons of women.
Si vous n'aimez pas la mer, si vous n'aimez pas la montagne, si vous n'aimez pas la ville, allez vous faire foutre.
Always dressed in a full suit. On a whole, the editing is just very good. The film has a very fast pace and you're always engaged in what's happening. There's great transitions, like when the police are looking for him and then you hear these gunshot sounds and it cuts to them at the movie theater watching a movie. It foreshadows the end of the film, which I'll keep vague for now because I'm assuming some of you haven't seen it. God, it's like people don't know what a good movie is anymore. So again, this film is very improvisation heavy. Lots of improv. And so the score kind of reflects that too, by being jazz. This constant music really helps with the pace of the film. I love the cinematography too. I love the look of black and white. One of my favorite shots of the film is toward the end. Patricia has a big moment, which I won't spoil, but she's walking around this wall. They were going around in shopping carts apparently to get some of these dolly shots, which is hilarious, but that's the kind of restraints you have when making these films. And I love the story this film is able to tell with such limited resources. I think it's hilarious. I think it's really original. It's a great piece of film history. It's one of the most influential and important films of all time. When I look to some of my other favorite films from directors like Scorsese, who definitely has that improv-heavy style, that's totally influenced by Breathless. And I believe he's even talked in interviews about how Jean-Luc Godard is a huge influence on him. Oh, we crossed the 180. I got this version of Breathless, and it includes this little book, and it talks about how Breathless is actually based on a treatment by Francis Truffaut. Francis Truffaut made this movie, which is another hugely influential French New Wave. So his treatment is right here. Then Godard took that, wrote his own version, and that's what Breathless is. It's a crime romance comedy that stars two hot as fuck French people just riffing the entire time. Who doesn't want to watch this movie? Yeah, there you go, bada boom. This is brought to you by Criterion, boy. Not really. Although, if I was to do one sponsor, it would 100% be Criterion. It's much better than Audible or whatever. If I ever do an Audible ad, do me a favor, someone. Shoot me in the fucking head. Shoot me in the fucking head.